Hello everybody, welcome to Project Beauty, where we talk about project panning and everything beauty related. My name is Jen. Today I'm going to update my eyes project pan, and this is created by Deb from Deb B, who I absolutely love, and I really hope you go and check out her channel. I want to talk about all of the things that I have used and all of the things that I am going to use. I'm updating a tiny bit early because I've actually gone through all of the eyeshadows and I feel comfortable with where I'm at with them, as well as I've pulled in a few more. I actually should get my sheet. I've pulled in a few more and I have some thoughts. So I really want to go over this. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of like jump right in. I just got to find my sheet here. Okay. So for the month of March. Now okay, let's start at the first one. These two are from Odin's Eye and they're both like, what do you call those? Collabs with Angelica Nyqvist. And I absolutely am obsessed with this Trick or Treat one. I think this is such a fabulous color story. I will open them and show you guys. But these are just awesome. I really like this. I've used this whole top row and this one here. And then I've used this kind of green, no, pardon me, this like burgundy quad. But I feel like I would like to play around with this a little bit more because I did enjoy using it so much. So I'm going to probably bring that into next month, but I'll set that aside for a second. And then the little ghost, I really enjoyed this as well. I did not wear as much green as I thought I was going to, and still, like, I still have opportunity to wear some more green in March, but this has no green in it either. So, I mean, that one has 4, but this one has no green in it. So I was like, you know, trying to look for like, you know, greens in other palettes. I'll show you that in a second. But this one reminded me a lot of Easter. It was very spring, very Easter. So even though it's a Halloween palette, which I mean, I'm here for Halloween every single day, obviously. So I'm going to bring this one into the next month as well and play around with that a little bit for a more seasonal, like Eastery type situation, because that one I didn't get as good of, not a good of a vibe, but I didn't get as good of an opinion as the little ghost one, or the Trick or Treat one. Okay, so but I absolutely loved playing with both, but one more than the other. The other one I still need to like form more of an opinion. Next I have the Stila Eyes Are the Window of the Soul, and I'm noticing that there's bumps on these and there's like little white flecks in these, and I feel terrible because I've owned this since like 2015. Now it's 2025. This is 10 years old, and I think this is time to just let it go. I don't want to because I don't have any other like Stila palettes, but just touching this, I can feel the bumps in here, and my eyes are very like special to me. I am not interested in hurting them in any way, shape, or form, and I don't want to put something on my eye that may be detrimental to my eye health. So I do think I'm actually going to declutter this and throw this out, which is really sad, but let's be honest, like, makeup is a consumable item. It expires, you do have to replace it, and unfortunately brands don't keep things around. Like, this is kitten. This is the only form of kitten I think I've ever owned in my life, and I've probably used it like 5 times. It's not anything special. I mean, pretty much every palette I have, or like at least, okay, let's say 50% of the palettes I have will probably have that shade in it or something similar. So in all reality, this is more of just a cool tone leaning palette. It is a legitimate perfect palette for me, but why didn't I use it? Why didn't I just use it? I felt like I had to get so many other things, and I don't know, I was like, I kept buying more and more and not using wonderful things that I already had. So it took me 10 years to get to a point where I'm like, I haven't used this even still. I just used it for the month, or whatever the last month was. And I love this and I have to let it go because it's bad. So that's unfortunate. Next is Rock Candy from ColourPop. And this one, I put a question mark beside it. I'm still kind of feeling this one out a little bit, but The color story is beautiful. It's very similar to the Stila one, except it's leaning a little bit more warm. The matte shades kind of go away as the day goes by, and the shimmers are nothing to write home about. So this is sort of a mediocre palette, but I will hang on to it for now, and if I don't touch it within like the next year, this is also gonna go, but like for now I'll hang on to it. I'm gonna just separate those. Okay, next I have the Dollhouse from Blend Bunny, and everybody knows Blend Bunny has amazing formula and a really, really beautiful color story. So I'm impartial right now, because when I used this, it was horrible. And I think it's because it's like 2 years old now and the formula is going bad, at least on the cream. So all the whole row down here and the whole row up here, all of these matte ones are really wonderful, which makes me want to hang on to it because I am parting with the Stila one. But I also have other matte palettes of these colors. So I'm like, do I part with it now and let someone else play around with this while it's still like reasonable and someone could still get use of it? Because I haven't been touching it. So I am going to put this in a declutter pile right now, but I'm not actually parting with it. And if I am drawn enough to go back in there and grab it, then I will grab it back out. But if I don't touch it and I don't think about it, it's just gonna go, which is really sad. But I need to be honest, and I have over 200 eyeshadow palettes, so it's not like I'm hurting for colors. The one that I brought in after the fact was Ninhydrin, and this is from Adept Cosmetics, and I brought this in because I wanted to use some light shimmers, and I thought this top row and like this green color here was really, really nice for light shimmers. I wore this one the other day, and I can tell the formula is kind of going off a little bit on this as well. So I'm not getting rid of this one. I actually really still like this, and I am wearing a little bit of this topped on my eyeshadow today. So this one will be staying, of course, but it's just not performing like it once did, and the formula is different now. Two more that I brought in were the Natasha Denona 5-pan palettes. This one is in the Coral palette, and this other one is the palette number 2, and it's one of the 5-pan. It's called Eyeshadow Palette 5, palette number 2. Really weird. But anyways, I will be hanging on to this one because I feel like this would be really easy to travel with. And this one I'm going to part with because I have plenty of these shades in other palettes as well. This duochrome is absolute hot garbage, and I don't really wear shades like this on my eyes that much. So actually it looks a lot, yeah, no, when you swatch this out, it's just like a pink, like a deep tone pink. So I'm going to part with this one, and I'm going to hang on to this one. So just getting really familiar with my eyeshadows, and when I'm creating my sheet, I write either a heart, I write good, I write okay, and I also put an X or meh. You know, like I give it kind of like a rating, right? Good and heart means awesome, hang on to that. X of course means declutter. Meh means it's nothing great, but I'm still considering it. That kind of thing. So next is the Tarte Tartist Pro, and I do really like this eyeshadow palette. I do find that these also are getting old and tend to blow away on me on my eyes, like I'm wearing them and like they disappear and get all muddy throughout the day. But I'm still going to hang on to this because I feel like this is a really good matte eyeshadow palette, and I'm already getting rid of the Stila one, so, and potentially the Dollhouse. And then also the Minka 2. This is the second, or it's just called Minka, but I'm calling it Minka 2 because there's 2 different Minka palettes. And this one is fabulous. However, this green right here, this beautiful, blinding, neon-looking green, I used it, and there was a ton of little glitters all over my eyes that really, really hurt. It really hurt. I had to wash my eyes twice because I felt like I was like collecting stuff inside my eyeballs. So that, I don't understand how that could happen. but you can see here, it looks like there's little glitters in there, like micro fine glitters. But I am going to be honest, those hurt the crap out of my eyes. And I'm a little bit concerned about whether or not I want to use that eyeshadow again. So just a fair warning, if you're using that shade, wash your eyes thoroughly because that hurt crazy, like really bad for me. But I do like the rest of the palette a lot. And then last but not least, I have the Be Perfect Carnival palette, The Antidote. And this was with Stacey Marie. And this is one of Ruth's favorite palettes. Oh my gosh. And I'm wearing it on my eyes today. I absolutely love this eyeshadow palette. How do I do this? It performs beautifully. There, this is better. It performs beautifully. It blends beautifully. I wish I could yeah, there we go. And then you can kind of see even the crease. Oh my gosh, the blend on the crease, the matte shades. I really like the shimmer shades. I apply them with my fingers. I just felt like they were beautiful. I used pretty much from here up in the palette, and I still have this portion of the palette to use, but I'm going to put that back because that's a little more fall for me. So keeping that one. All right, now I'm very quickly going to go through the ones that I'm bringing in super quickly. These two I'm bringing in again. You've seen them already. I'm not going to open them again. Next, I'm bringing in these two from Huda Beauty. These are also getting extremely old, and these are apparently not eye safe, but I have used them on my eyes for so long, and I've never had really any issue. I think it's more so the staining factor, but that's the pink one. And this is the orangey one, which also has orange, pink, and yellow in it. And I'll see how those perform. I'm also going to bring in this little Huda Coral because I'm considering parting with this one because it's also getting old. And I feel like this is perfect for spring. So I'm going to bring that in and see what I think, but it looks a little bit too warm and I haven't really used it much. So if I don't like it, I can pass it on to somebody else. Next, I'm bringing in two from ColourPop. I am bringing in the Celtics palette, which I wanted to use a little more in the earlier part of March, but because I'm filming this early, I can still get some March uses on this. And so that's why I'm bringing in a lot more, is because I'm filming early. And then also Just My Luck from ColourPop, which is unopened, so that can go in recycling. And this has never been used, and I thought about parting with it, but I'm like, I just can't. Actually, now that I look at it, I'm like, let me see, because I don't need those brownie greens. I don't need that, this kind of, what is it called? Citrine? No, whatever you want to call it, that kind of a green. And I have other green palettes. No, I think I'm going to part with it. Okay, bye. I'm actually going to part with it. I'm going to put the packaging back on, and I'm going to declutter that right now. I did not see that coming. I just looked at the palette and I went, this is just, I have those other greens in the Antidote palette. I also have a separate BH Cosmetics strictly green palette. So, and I have Juicy Olive. I have all those shades. Next, Adept Cosmetics Seahorse eyeshadow palette, which looks like this. So beautiful. I feel like that's perfect for spring. I also want to bring in the new NARS eyeshadow palette that I just recently picked up. And no, I'm not on an eyeshadow no-buy. I would like to do a whole collection no-buy at some point, but I just feel like I'm not that person because I love makeup so much that I will occasionally pick up the odd thing here and there. But I just thought this is so beautiful, and I think I'd like to play with it because I've never really actually played with NARS eyeshadows. So this will be that opportunity for me. So I will now part with that one. I'm also bringing in this from Pat McGrath. I was going to wait to do this one in the fall because I feel like this is just giving fall vibes. And I realize that I don't absolutely love this formula of this one or the color story of this one. So I think try it out and see if it's something I want to keep, because if it's something I want to part with, I can easily do that and give that to someone while it's still good enough to use. I'm also bringing in a Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to bring in the pastel eyeshadows. And I also thought about bringing my Ice Cream Dream in, so that may eventually show up in here, but this is what this looks like, and it's very beautiful. And yeah, I love it. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. So hopefully I love it as much on my face. And everything's starting to go sideways here. I'm bringing in Tiny Marvels, which I'm sure you guys are very familiar. This was the collab with Sydney Grace and Mel Thompson, and I believe Amber F is panning this year, which is a hefty feat. I'm really impressed with how she does her pan those palettes, or pan that eyeshadow palettes. But this is a fabulous color story. Like, Mel hit it out of the park with that one, and I just love it, so I needed to bring that in. And then also the Dragon Fruit Dragon Fruit palette with Clionadh Cosmetics and Emily Violet Marie. And this is the color story. I got the replacement palette because mine broke like immediately, probably the second time I used it. And then that is gorgeous. Wow. I have to be so gentle with that one. Also gentle with the Break the Rules, it's Belle Cosmetics eyeshadow palette, and they are no longer a company, which makes me so sad because they had wicked colors and wicked formulas. I really wanted to get more from the brand, but unfortunately I wasn't able to do that because I just couldn't afford it when they were closing down and stuff, and they didn't have all the ones I wanted. Next is the Frosty Flamingo palette, and this is from Sugar Drizzle. The mattes are just not at all good. I'm going to be honest, they're not good. But I'm going to play around with this palette and see how I feel and if I love it. And then next I'm bringing in the Nomad eyeshadow palette with Haunted Europe. I'm so excited. I got this, it kind of re-released, and I got both Haunted Europe and the other haunted one. The one that came out the next year. I can't remember what it's called, but oh my, I just wanted it for this. I'm not gonna lie. Like, sometimes I'm a package whore, palette package whore, but in this instance I had to have that, and I feel like I can make some very beautiful springtime looks out of this, although it is very fall-esque, so you'll probably see this again around like September, October time. But I do feel like there's quite a few shades like that really bright green and stuff like that in there, and I can make some really beautiful eyeshadow looks for spring as well. And plus, who doesn't want a little spookiness all year round? I know I do. Oh, why am I putting this back in here? I don't need this outer packaging, although so cool. And then I'm bringing in two of these, and this is the final ones. I'm bringing in the Norvina 1 and the Norvina 2. This is the Norvina 2. I think I've maybe even never used this actually, or maybe used just this one eyeshadow, so I can't remember, but I will be bringing that in. And then this is Norvina Volume 1. And it looks like this, which is, again, a fall palette, but yeah, I'm bringing it in. So that is everything. I know this was super, super quick, but I just wanted to plow through and show you guys everything that I'm bringing in for this month. And I hope you guys check Deb out. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video and comment down below and let me know which eyeshadow is your favorite out of my picks this month. I don't really have a pick and a peak, a pit and a peak for last month. But if anything, I would probably say that my pits were all the ones that were like over here, like the ones I'm getting rid of, and the peak, probably the Oden's Eye palettes that I brought in again for this month, because clearly I wanted to play with those more. So yeah, that's everything. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.